Perennial, the gentle promise of return, the quiet joy of what lasts. In gardens it rests then rises, each season a soft celebration, petals opening like familiar smiles welcoming you back. In life, it's the pieces you reach for without doubt, the colours that always feel like home, the ideas that keep shining, steady, warm and true. Perennial doesn't fade. It renews, it reassures, it reminds you some things are meant to stay. Introducing our new digital home, the Perennial. We can't wait to welcome you. Good morning, my darlings. Welcome to a new vlog. Today's vlog is a really big one. We have some very big changes that are happening, and I've got a really exciting event to share with you as well. So I'm just going to get straight stuck into it. A little bit of backstory. First of all, the whole reason that I'm here on YouTube in this house, the whole everything, my career, it all started with a blog. And the way that my blog actually started was when I was an intern at Mulberry and also studying at London College of Fashion, and I wanted to document what I was learning, what I was doing during the internship. It was very competitive back then to get fashion internships, and so many other students wanted to know the ins and outs, like tips, what to wear, what it's really like working at Fashion Week. And instead of replying to the emails of my fellow students all the time, I thought I'm just going to put all of this information on a blog. And the blog, I decided, because I was mumbling about fashion, would be called Fashion Mumbler. And fashionmumbler.com was my website where I would document day-to-day things going on in the fashion industry, what I was wearing, skincare that I was loving. I would talk about products that I really liked, and then I would tag them on Twitter and they would repost the blog, and just really naturally, really organically, the views started to add up, the readers started to add up. We started to rank quite well in Google, because back then, you know, the internet was a far smaller place, and product reviews and outfit reviews and informative posts were really useful to people, and they had a lot of eyeballs. And then that evolved from a website into an Instagram, and then many years later, I think 6 years after I'd started the blog and hadn't earned a penny from it, I started the YouTube channel. So that was, yeah, nearly 11 years ago now, which is crazy. In fact, it's always April. April seems to be the month that things start. It was April, I think the 21st maybe, my first ever YouTube video 11 years ago. So April's a big month for us. I clearly feel very inspired in the spring and get started with new things. But anyway, fashionmumbler.com has been my blog, the website, the domain, our email addresses, and my brand for the last 15 years, I think. It's probably about 15 years old. But since moving to the Cotswolds, our lifestyle has changed, my interests have changed, the things I've been wanting to write about and share have changed. There's a lot more recipes, there's a lot more gardening, there's 10 best pubs in the Cotswolds, things like that. And the things that I wanted to share are, I guess you could say, a lot more perennial than just fashion content. And I still absolutely love sharing fashion with you. The things in my wardrobe have got a lot more timeless over the years, but also the things that I enjoy sharing are things that don't go out of style. You know, people have loved gardening for centuries, millennia. Cooking and recipes are things that you can do year after year. They're a lot more. Well, let's look at the word perennial. A perennial plant is something that you plant in your herbaceous border, or you find in a garden, and it comes back year after year. It's timeless, it's classic, and so many of the things that we love are perennial, whether that's perennial wardrobe pieces or perennial plants. And that word just really stuck with us. You might remember probably about 5 years ago, I started a silly hashtag perennial millennial on probably TikTok and Instagram, just sharing the more kind of wholesome things that I was really loving doing, could be foraging, it could have been baking or gardening tips. And it's a word that really kind of sums up what I love right now. But equally, we wanted a place on the internet where all of this lovely content could have a home that you can bookmark, come back to, and it just be a really lovely kind of cozy place on the internet with everything that we get asked a lot, whether it's Cotswold information or recipes or gardening tips, all in one place. And it's not all about me, it's not all about Charlie. We're planning on having contributors to bring their opinions and ideas to this part of the internet. So yeah, I guess I've kind of skirted around the actual announcement, and that is that Fashion Mumbler has evolved. I don't want to say it's gone, but it's evolved. And the website and home and brand that we are now so excited to launch is the Perennial. So the Perennial goes live today, which is really exciting. We have been working on this rebrand and this website and brand kind of hub on the internet for a couple of years now. It's been, you know, when you change your brand in such a significant way, you want to make sure you're getting it absolutely spot on. So it's taken a good amount of time, a lot of thinking, a lot of building to create this incredible space on the internet. So the Perennial is here. Everything about the business is changing. The business name, Fashion Mumbler, is changing. We are now the Perennial, we are Team Perennial. Our email addresses are changing, and obviously the main thing is the website. So I'll have shown you a few little sneak peeks, little clips of the website earlier on in the video, but it's a very natural website. You're meant to click online and instantly understand what it's all about, whether it's the beautiful, hopefully very calming, relaxing imagery, really easy to navigate site. There is of course still lots of fashion, the things that are new in my wardrobe. There's things that you guys know and love from the previous websites, such as the discount codes and the Cotswold guides, but there's beautiful articles about gardening tips and recipes and everything that we just absolutely love, all in one place. And I hope you guys will agree, it is such a beautiful site. So I would obviously it's new, there might be teething problems. I would so love for you guys to spend a little bit of time on the website. Let me know what you love about it, let me know if you've got any suggestions, things that we could amend or improve or do differently. But I'm just so excited to finally be able to share it with you, to bring the Perennial to life. And it's just something that we as a whole team feel so proud of. We've worked on it for, as I said, such a long time. And I'm going to share a lot more about it, all the intricate details, later on in the video. But for now, I just love for you to check it out and explore it. And I hope you love it as much as we do. And I hope it'll become your favourite place on the internet and a little bit of a hub for all the things that you might want to read about. So how very exciting, and it couldn't be a more glorious day for us to launch it on. So I'm going to fill the day with very Perennial activities. I'm going to do, of course, some gardening, some bits and bobs in the greenhouse. I bought some bulbs yesterday that I want to do another little bulb arrangement. One of them needs refreshing, and so perfect given the gardening connection to the new website. I've got some beautiful Perennial pieces like for a spring summer wardrobe that I want to share with you from a collection that could not be more suited to the Perennial as a brand. It is an incredible collaboration between Love and Roses. This jumper here is from Love and Roses. You'll have seen me wearing their pieces in the past. They are absolutely gorgeous, often with perennial flowers as part of the detail. They have done a collaboration with RHS, Royal Horticultural Society, and I could not resist trying a few of the gorgeous pieces from the collection. So I'm going to share that with you very soon. But first, I have another very exciting announcement, and I think that you guys are gonna love this one, because we are often asked about events and doing things that you guys can get involved in. So I'm really excited to share that in just a couple of weeks, so I hope that you've got space in your diaries. I'm going to be hosting a floral workshop, an incredible morning of chatting all things fashion, all things flowers with Love and Roses and the RHS in London. So first of all, before I continue, I will let you know that tickets are available, and I'll leave a link for them down below and also in a QR code on the screen here. It's going to be £25 for the tickets, and that is going to actually go to charity. So the morning will kick off at 10:30 at Lavender Green Florist in London, and then we'll have time to chat, time to have some little brunch nibbles, teas and coffees and things like that. And then we're going to do a really beautiful floral, just an hour-long little workshop, putting together some beautiful floral baskets with bulbs and plants that are going to last longer than just a bunch of flowers would last. So things you can either keep in your kitchen, in your living room, or you could plant them out into the garden, or keep them in the beautiful basket as a lovely centerpiece for a table. So it's just going to be a really relaxing and fun couple of hours together, and also discovering the beautiful RHS Love and Roses collection in a lot more detail. So I'd love to see some of you guys there. Tickets, as I said, are on sale now. We do have a very limited number. It is going to be an intimate event, so if you would like to join us, then check out the link down below. Did I mention the date? 15th of April. 15th of April. So just over a couple of weeks' time. So I really hope that I can see lots of you there. There's going to be so many additional kind of treats and surprises on the day as well, including a gorgeous goodie bag. You're going to be utterly spoilt, and I just can't wait to hang out with you and get our hands dirty in the soil. So it's going to be a glorious day. Oh, there's just so much to look forward to. Now that we are in April, I feel like everything just feels so much more jolly. There's so much to look forward to. The gardens are coming into bloom. The fashion is fabulous. We've got our new website launching. It is all go. So my darlings, I'm going to share with you a few of my favourite outfits from the Love and Roses RHS collection. Okay, my darlings, I cannot wait to share this collection with you. So, Love and Roses, they've collaborated with the RHS to create the most beautiful collection, and it's obviously just filled with so many beautiful spring floral prints. I love every single piece, and the collection ranges from kind of single separate pieces to little crop jackets to some of the most beautiful dresses that I think I have ever seen. And I have to say, the price point is absolutely incredible. If you are looking for occasion wear pieces, something maybe to wear to the Chelsea Flower Show, summer weddings, garden parties, the collection is just absolutely beautiful. Also, I have to give a shout out to the creative team for the campaign imagery. I'm going to put some of the images on the screen here. They shot it in the most beautiful glass house space, and the imagery just looks so beautiful. All of the dresses, all of the pieces look so stunning, and let me tell you, it was very hard to choose, very hard to choose my personal favorites. As you might imagine, it's selling really well, so I would have a look at the website and pick some of your favorites, because I know that a few of my favorites are already selling out. So I'm going to show you my top 5 pieces, and I will also tell you I've got others that are on my wish list, so I'll probably end up showing you some more at some point. But before I take it off, let's just give this jumper a little moment, because it's so gorgeous. This is from their kind of always on collection. It's all available at Next, but it's not part specifically of the RHS collection. I just love the florals and this kind of lattice detail. It reminds me of the kind of lattice detail that you see in really beautiful contemporary gardens. Love a wide sleeve, and with a pair of jeans, I just think it's such a nice, relaxed, everyday spring outfit. And although I would say the majority of the collection is occasion wear, there's also some really beautiful things that you can wear as everyday pieces. So let's get started with those. Okay, so this was actually the first piece that caught my eye from the collection, and we all know how versatile a spring jacket is, and this is just the sweetest, prettiest spring jacket that you can throw on top of a t-shirt with jeans, just to add a floral touch to any outfit. I know that I'm going to be wearing this on repeat. The quality is gorgeous. It's actually lined on the inside, and it's this kind of thick weave, light, not quite white, I would call it like an ecru denim. You've got this beautiful core detail on the neckline and this incredibly delicate floral pattern. I think these look a little bit like, I mean, we've got geraniums, which are probably in my top 5 perennial plants. We've got, looks a little bit like a clematis, perhaps a verbena here, all of which were on my wedding dress. I had my favourite perennial flowers stitched into my wedding dress, but yeah, just absolutely love this. I think this will be the piece I probably wear the most from the collection, just because throwing on top of a t-shirt and jeans, like the ultimate classic outfit, it's just gorgeous. And I think for days out here in the Cotswolds, just running errands, but also days for meetings in London, it's the perfect balance between casual but also looking feminine, looking elegant, and yet quite a cool piece as well. I think if you find florals maybe a little bit too girly, but you want to find a way of adding them into your wardrobe, then perhaps mixing with a slightly more traditionally masculine or like classic piece like a denim jacket, I think is such a great way to do it. So this combo, light coloured jeans, little vest top, this is also Love and Roses. And I almost don't want to be afraid of getting this a bit mucky as well, like scrunching it up, wearing it to do the gardening, throwing it on in the early evening when the temperatures start to drop. Feels a little bit like a utility jacket in that way, but I just absolutely love it and I cannot wait for the first time that I properly wear this out the house, because I can guarantee it's going to be a big hit. Okay, so kind of along similar lines, this is, I would say, half jacket, half top. It's a really beautiful lightweight material, but again, it's lined, so I can already feel how warm this is going to be, which is very crucial on UK spring days because you always need that little extra layer of warmth. I've been trying to add a little bit more blue into my wardrobe, and I think the blue stripes are just really elegant, really timeless. And the floral embroidery, it's subtle, but then when you see it, it's just such a beautiful addition. So we've got the florals on the arms here. It feels quite a nostalgic piece as well. It feels like the kind of thing that, I don't know, I want to wear on a boat in Nantucket. And then we've got lovely florals down here, cute little sections of embroidery, and it's a nice cropped length as well. So I think this is going to be really flattering if you are a little bit on the more petite side like I am. The way that it's cropped is a little bit more elongating, and again, just thrown over a white camisole and jeans. I think it's a really classic, nice addition to some wardrobe staples. Okay, finally we have one of the dresses from the beautiful collection. I chose this one because, first of all, it's a lovely cotton and linen blend, so it's going to be really lovely even when the temperatures start to get a little bit warmer. The material is absolutely beautiful. I don't have anything in my wardrobe in this colour. It's almost like a beautiful, vivid turquoise, kingfisher green kind of shade, again with a beautiful floral pattern all over it. I absolutely love a square neckline. I think it's such a beautiful silhouette with these puff sleeves as well, and a really beautiful, elegant full length. It's also got pockets, which is very important, and I just can't wait to wear this to summer garden parties. It'd be a lovely wedding guest dress as well, but also perfect for Chelsea Flower Show or Chelsea in Bloom. Just a gorgeous outfit option for that. The fit is really lovely because it's got a smocked panel at the back as well. And when it comes to sizing, I would say get your regular size. I think with a pair of wedges and a nice little straw bag, this is just the perfect summer occasion dress. And finally, another gorgeous little top. This one has got so many pretty design details. I always love a bow, and this one fastens up with these little bows down the middle. It's also got a pretty little scalloped edge down here, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. Puff sleeves and the beautiful floral embroidery throughout. I did spot on the website there's actually a matching pair of white shorts that go with this, which I'm very tempted to add to my collection as well. I think that'd be such a pretty, elegant outfit for summer holidays or warmer days. And they've also got the scallop bottom, which I think is such a nice detail. So they are on my wish list. I have many dresses on my wish list as well, but these I thought was such wearable pieces from the collection. I'll leave the full collection link down below. I'm sure you guys will absolutely love it. Quite a few of you actually DM'd me when you saw this collection going live, being like, Josie, this is so you, and I agree, it's all absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful additions to a spring wardrobe. I feel like this is probably not the wisest choice for spending some time in the greenhouse though, so I'm going to pop something a little bit more practical on, and then let's go and prepare some little bulb baskets similar to what we're going to be doing at the event. This is not a bulb collection, this is literally like level 1 putting together a bulb planter, because I just took it out of the plant pot that it came in the garden centre and shoved it in a prettier pot. But this is a beautiful little snowdrop that has just started to bloom. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous, and I just love adding these green natural touches into the bedrooms, into the kitchen. And these little glasses, I've just been putting together a few posy glasses. These narcissus, they were the ones in the scalloped bowl that I showed you in the last vlog. They actually grew so well and so tall that they started to flop over. So I've trimmed them, popped them in some fresh water with a pea shoot and some bits from the hedge. I think these look lovely, so I've just popped a few of these in different rooms in the house as well. And the smell of these little narcissus is so beautiful. Gorgeous. And now we have Josie from the future here, because I have received my second delivery and we've got more beautiful dresses. So I'm going to quickly show you these, because I can't help but feel, oh, sunshine, can't help but feel that for summer special occasions, wedding guests, Easter brunches, although we're cutting it a bit fine for that, garden parties, these outfits are so perfect. This one reminds me of my garden. So many beautiful blooms. I think this is like a pink geranium, and these beautiful butterflies. The silhouette of this is absolutely gorgeous. Cinch you in at the waist, pleated fabric, and we've got a little bit of elastication on the sleeves, which means you can pull the sleeves up if you want to. Beautiful V-neck to show off a lovely necklace, and a really beautiful, elegant length. I feel like this is just the perfect one for upcoming spring weddings. Okay, this one was another instant favourite. I think it's the colour that won me over straight away. It's got this beautiful 3-dimensional floral detail to it, another beautiful square neckline, which I think I already said earlier, which to me now was a couple of days ago, I think I said was my favourite. We have got little pocket details, and again, a beautiful maxi length, so perfect for weddings, perfect for special occasions, perfect for Chelsea Flower Show. I feel like with a lovely straw hat or matching colour hat, if you can find something that matches, this would be absolute perfection. Size wise, I would say you could probably afford to size down if you're between sizes of these dresses. At least with this one, probably just your normal size with the one I showed you a second ago. But the colour, the 3-dimensional flowers, I think this is my dream spring dress. Okay, this next one definitely feels like the smartest of all the dresses so far. The fabric is a little bit thicker. It's not got boning, but the bodice silhouette is super, super flattering. We don't actually have pockets in this one. I think they didn't want to upset the silhouette, but if we look closely, the details on this are so pretty. I love this trim on the edge of the neckline and along the sleeves. And if I take a step back, you can see the silhouette is almost like a fit and flare. So it's just such a flattering, again, very, very feminine silhouette, and got a really beautiful, long, elegant length. Again, perfect for garden parties. This would also be a really good one for something like a royal ascot or slightly smarter spring and summer events. And last but not least, this one is probably the most dramatic and fabulous. So if you're the birthday girl, or if you're the host, or if you're going somewhere really, really special, this is so perfect. Again, design details that I love, and so many beautiful shades of pink. I think this is definitely a Freddie dress as well. We have got a lovely organza puff sleeve. Again, floral embroidery. That's a design detail that runs throughout the collection. Higher neckline this time, it's a little bit more demure. And then we've also got the organza as like a top layer over the top of the entire dress. I love the length of the sleeves, and a little ribbon just around the waistline, and again that beautiful, elegant full length. So this is the last of the dresses in my second but possibly not final order from the Love and Roses collection. I'll leave these all linked down below as well. So now let's whiz back in time again for the rest of the vlog. Okay, this is literally the perfect kind of day for spending time in the greenhouse. I don't need my jacket on. I'm going to open the windows and I'll show you what I'm going to be doing. But first, I'll show you this gorgeous little shirt. This is Love and Roses, but it's from their classic collection, not from the RHS, but I'll still leave it linked down below. I love that it's just got this very soft V. They're a very floral, pretty brand, so there's often florals in the design detail. And then I've got on my wide Holland Cooper jeans, Fairfax belt, and shoes are Fairfax driving shoes. So what I'm going to do, I actually muddled round the order of the vlogs, so you might think that I only made this about 4 days ago, but it was in fact ages ago, or like at least a week ago. And when I planted the bulbs in here, they were already flowering, so naturally they've kind of come to an end. So in order to have something new and beautiful on the kitchen table, I picked these up. I think it's called a Scilla plant, and they are so pretty. Very, very delicate floral scent, really delicate. They're kind of the same colours as the blouse, and could do with one other thing to plant in there, really. That's not really enough. Or maybe it'll just look pretty having just pretty florals. So I'm going to repot that. Next time I'm going to repot this as well, or re-zhuzh it, because again everything's kind of died down. And I'll show you what I do with the bulbs as well, because obviously we don't want them to go to waste. So let's clear a little bit of room. Oh my gosh, it is so glorious in here. I love it, love it, love it. Oh, and I've got my chili peppers to plant as well. I got these from 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, and I need to pop those in some individual pots. I'll do that. And I also desperately need to prick out my basil, because look how well that's done. Oh, it smells, oh my gosh, I wish you could smell it. That is like the strongest little juicy basil smell. So I need to prick those out. Gardening terminology is so funny, pricking out. So I'm going to reuse the moss. So first of all, I'm going to peel off the moss and put that to the side. And then I'm just taking an old plant pot, and I'm just going to wiggle out the bulbs, give them a bit of a shake, and pop them in here. I don't want to cut off the green, because as the green dies back, it actually gives the energy back to the bulb. So you don't obviously need to be neat and tidy at this point. So the bulbs are not going to waste. What I'm going to do is just literally put them behind the greenhouse and let the green die down. And then when the green has fully died down, I'll actually just plant the bulbs around the pond, and then they'll come back in the garden next year. So we are left with really nice juicy compost in here. I'm actually wondering, yeah, I think that'll look really nice in here. So I'm just going to give this a little squeeze. You can see that the roots are up to the edge, which means it's ready to grow. I'm going to attempt to save this manicure. Honestly, manicures for me just do not last in spring, because I'm gardening every day. Not all day every day, but every day. Okay. Making a little hole. I don't know actually, this might be not big enough. Actually, that does look quite lovely, doesn't it? Okay. Now one of these is falling down, so I'm going to use a twig as a little kind of crutch for it. It's not loving life. Let's loop you over there. And then just for some symmetry, I'll add a few more twigs in. Pop the moss back. And there we go. Cute. This looks absolutely adorable, doesn't it? Just kind of wild and wonderful with the blooms and the moss and the twigs. I don't add twigs in very often, but I think I'll do that more often now. I love it. Oh, it's just such a nice, like if you're doing an Easter table, what a gorgeous centerpiece. I really need to keep the lookout for more low pots like this, like this one, because they're just perfect. And doing what I'm doing now, like this will last at least a week in full bloom. You don't need to water it because the bulbs just have all the energy in there and there's enough moisture in the soil. So it's just like a really easy care thing to have on your kitchen counter, on a dining table. It looks so lovely and it's living, it's alive. And obviously the bulbs are perennial, so they keep coming back. I'm really chuffed with that. Let's take it into the kitchen. So I like to just keep swapping around the pots that I've got so that the prettiest ones are always where I can see them. So I've just bought in a tulip one which is finished back into the greenhouse and replaced it with another tulip one, which is on the table outside the kitchen window because I can always see that table, so it's nice to have something pretty there. So in the little plastic pots that the bulbs were in, I'm going to fill these with soil and put some basil in here. Pots like this, I like to treat them like little goodie bags, and when friends come over, people from April onwards will always leave the house with either a bunch of flowers, some herbs, or a plant. So I'll plant up a couple of basils in here that I can give to anyone that comes by the house, and then ones that we're going to keep here in the greenhouse or in the kitchen, I'll pot up into some larger pots, and I'll also do my chili peppers. So I'm going to move onto this station here so I can get messy. So basil, 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 chili, chili. Okay. Just given everything a water. So we've got the chili plants, and where did I put the basil? The basils just look so tiny in the pots, but they don't love root disturbance. So I thought if I have to move them as little as possible, they'll be fantastic when they start growing. So I'm going to grab my gloves and head to the raised beds, because what I've done is I've ordered a bulk bag of compost, nice organic compost, to put on the top of the raised beds. But before I spread that, hasn't arrived yet obviously, I need to pull up weeds. And I mean, look, like this is something that Charlie's just really stubborn about, that I really disagree with, having the raspberries in a raised bed. It's really annoying because look, we've got raspberries there, strawberries here, which means I only have one little corner of this bed to use. Very annoying. So I'm determined for them not to spread, so I need to pull up all these raspberry shoots, a few little weeds, a few carrots that can be pulled up. Yeah, just give the beds a little bit of a tidy so that when the compost arrives we can get spreading it, and then I can start growing out here. There's a few things you can sow at this time of year. Ooh, and some weeds in the pathways to pull up. Just quite fun therapeutic work. I'm just heating up some pasta that I had for my lunch yesterday to have for my lunch today as well. And we've got our Smith and Munson tulip delivery. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I picked up this when we went to Nicholson's. It's not got a hole in the bottom, so it's better for cut flowers instead of an actual plant. I'm going to take a little bit of chicken wire. Careful with this because it can be quite sharp. I'm going to snip a little section. And then scrunch it into a ball carefully. I would actually recommend doing this wearing gloves. Shoving it in here, like so. Puppies! 2 little boys! Oh! Oh, thank you, Chloe, who is so smart. It's the waddle.
I know. And Dickens' fluffy tail.
You were the fluffiest chessie that I've seen in my life. Let me admire it. Let me admire it. Oh, were they good?
Yeah, they were very good.
I don't believe it for 1 second. I've been pampered and I look like a snowball. Oh. Oh. And we've got our spring floral capes on.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
very
yes.
seasonal.
We're so on trend. Oh. Thanks, Chloe.
No worries.
Oh my goodness me. My 2 little boys have just come back from the groomers and Dickie looks like a ball of fluff. Oh, you smell so good. Dexy, let's show everyone your posh bandana. Oh, it's floral, like Mummy's shirt. We're matching. Oh. He always knows that he looks smart after we've been to the groomers. And he prances in. I want to show off. I want to show off. Oh, you're so smart. I love you. Should we kiss each other outside? Come on then. Come on then. Slight sausage distraction. So I'm going to now put the tulips. I'm going to trim off the stems. Sorry, trim off the leaves. Let's put some water in there. And the reason I've done the chicken wire is that will just help to create a little bit of structure so they don't all kind of flop to one side. I can really be a bit more mindful as to the flower positioning. Pretty. Such lovely spring colours. Tiny trim. Get rid of the lower leaves. Go, and these will stay exactly where I put them thanks to the chicken wire. I've just shoved in a few little bits of greenery from the bush outside the greenhouse just to fill in a few gaps, and I think that looks absolutely gorgeous. I love all the different colours. What a joyful flower display, and this pot is perfect. It's nice that it kind of opens up at the top so all the colours really fan out. Absolutely gorgeous. And with tulips you just need to make sure that you keep trimming the ends and change the water every so often. That is absolutely stunning. Good morning, my darlings. It's the next day. We have got another day of beautiful sunshine today. Did I just say good morning? It's actually 2:45 in the afternoon. We've had meetings at the house here this morning and they've all just finished, so I've got a little bit of time to catch up on everything. Yeah, it's been a really crazy day with like big rain clouds. There was a moment where it was snowing but now it's gone back to beautiful sunshine. I don't really have time to get out in the garden at the moment, but if my 3:30 call ends up being not too long, I think I might get out in the garden this afternoon. I think we need to take a moment for this adorable cardigan. Isn't it just the sweetest thing in the entire world? This is also Love and Roses, and it's just, I love it so much. It's so soft. It's not even like got a 1% itch factor to it. Love the V-neck, love the very soft lemon yellow colour. Love the little seashell buttons, but they're not too obvious in that Like where we live is actually the most landlocked part of the country. We are the furthest here from any sea than any other part of the country. So not exactly giving nautical vibes, but I love the little seashells. And then, just as if it couldn't get any more perfect, 3/4 length sleeves, which is very practical when you're pottering about. And the sleeves have got little scallop detail on them, which is gorgeous. So this area here is looking very cluttered, but you might have guessed what my little afternoon task is. I need to restock on my smoothie jars, and I do this once every 2 or 3 weeks. Now that we're in spring, most of the time, I think I mentioned in the last vlog about there being like 11 seasons, and it's false spring, back to winter, deception spring, back to winter, mud season, springish, back to winter, actual spring, then summer, then autumn part 1, then Indian summer, then autumn part 2, and then winter, 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 winter. That's the weather of the UK. But anyway, I digress. Now that we are seeing a little bit more sunshine, I do love my smoothie breakfasts. Normally I have them with my egg muffins. Smoothies, egg muffins, seed sprouts, and veggie stock. They are the things I just always love to have in the fridge or in the freezer. And by, I know I've mentioned this 12 million times before, I feel like I'm just so repetitive, but that's life, isn't it? If you love smoothies and you don't do these jars, please try it just once, because it will save you so much time. Jars like this, I got them on Amazon. Some of the other jars that I use are recycled from yogurts and things like that. Or you know when you get like little glass granola things from bougie cafes, just save things like that. And I basically put all the ingredients aside from the kefir for my smoothie into these, pop them in the freezer, and each day I take it out like 20 minutes before I'm going to make the smoothie, so it's not completely rock hard. Add to my blender with kefir, and sometimes I'll slosh this out with water just to loosen the smoothie a little bit more. So I'm going to do that, and at the same time as preparing my jars, and today I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jars, which is 2 weeks worth of smoothie. I'm also going to make today's smoothie, which I haven't had yet, in my Ninja blend boss. So today's ingredients, as always, I've got the frozen organic berries. This is blueberries, raspberries, blackcurrants, blackberries, strawberries maybe, from Ocado. We've got rhubarb that I grew in my garden last year. We've got blackberries that I foraged from the hedgerows last year. I love these. This is the organic acai from Packed. Hope I've got enough there. There's not enough there, I'm gonna have to get some more. Bananas, obviously I like them a little bit ripe because then they are sweeter. I love a nutty tasting berry smoothie, so I put in a very good dollop of peanut butter. I also love to put in some maca powder. This is good for energy, immunity, and cognitive function. We have to talk about brains in a second, remind me. I'll tell you about it while I'm putting the jars together. Then I'm using up, I find these a bit strange and I probably won't get them again actually, freeze-dried strawberries. I'm just using these up from 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅. Nut selection, almonds, pecans, Brazil nuts, walnuts, and then I am also putting in a little bit of creatine. I've only been using creatine for less than a month, so I don't really know if it's making that much of a difference yet. Do I have biceps yet? Not really. Maybe they're a little bit better than they were. The aim of me using creatine is to get biceps because I just want to have toned arms for summer. Yeah, so Dirtea now make creatine, so that's what I'm sticking in. And yeah, it just saves, because I do all the little faffy ingredients like the powders. If I was to make pots of this every single day, honestly, I would forget most of the ingredients and it would take me like an hour to get them all out. So while I put these together, I'll tell you why I wanted to talk to you about brains, because I had a very, very important Zoom call this morning. You might remember a few weeks ago, or maybe even like a month or so ago now, I went and I had an MRI scan with a company called Prenuvo, and I'm not gonna lie to you, these are not cheap scans. They're not cheap at all, but I'm hoping that the more people do them, the more the technology becomes kind of more common, the price is going to come down and they're going to become a lot more readily available. That is my hope and my dream, because no one likes to think of health as being better for those that can afford it. I'm sure you guys know what I'm saying there. Yeah, so I went and I had the Prenuvo scan. The whole experience was really good. I'll leave the video where I went and did it up on the screen and link down below if you want to see what the experience was like. And a couple of days after the scan, they sent me a PDF, and it had a report within it, which had information about literally like head to toe information from the scan, what they had found. It showed imagery, it had doctor's notes, it had kind of like an AI analysis as well as what the real doctors had written. And it was written in kind of understandable language, not just doctor jargon. And I'm not gonna lie, there are a few things on that report that I was like, oh, that's probably not good to have that. So there are a few things that did make me a little bit nervous. The whole point of this scan is obviously if there is anything wrong, you want to catch it as soon as possible so that you can take the right treatment or make the right lifestyle changes. There is an argument of like, is there such thing as too much information? Yeah, and honestly it depends on your personality type. Some people would rather be blissfully unaware. I would rather know everything. I want to know exactly what's going on in my body, and if there are small things that I can do that will make it better, make me healthier, then I want to be able to do them. So this morning I had a Zoom call with one of their consultants, and I was chatting with a lady called Dr. Claudia, and she went through the report in huge amounts of detail. She went through every single part of the body, and the Prenuvo scan is a screening as opposed to a diagnostic tool, which means they scan your body like side to side, up to down, inside out in 3mm sections, and it takes about 45 minutes, whereas in a diagnostic scan they would do it in 1mm sections, so it'd be a lot more precise if you're getting a diagnostic scan, because they'd probably only scan one area, whereas if they were to do it to that intricacy with a Prenuvo scan, you'd literally be there all day. So you can get more precise scans on certain areas if you do need some more information. But the things that she explained to me based on what was in my report, firstly calmed me down a little bit, because there was one thing in particular I was like, that is a very scary word. It wasn't, I'm not going to give you my full health debrief, but it wasn't a C word, it was an A word to do with the brain. I'll let you guys figure that out. And when I saw that, obviously I was very scared, because that is not what you want to hear. So she has made a suggestion of a referral for me, and she's also given me some tips on brain health. And she was saying how obviously sleep is so important for our brain health, because our body literally goes into like a recovery mode when we sleep, so 8 hours a night, super important. And touch wood, luckily sleep is something that I am quite good at, touch wood, at the moment. She was also saying how important hydration is for your brain, for your whole body. Obviously when you're hydrated, your blood is a little bit thinner and it can move around the body more easily, can get to everything a lot more easily, and can travel through everywhere a lot more easily. So hydration for your brain and overall body health, just so important. Yeah, and she gave lots of other bits of advice. I asked her about walnuts being good for the brain, and she was like, yeah, I don't know if there's that much evidence behind that, but we both agreed that oftentimes when there is an old wives' tale about something, often there is a little bit of truth to the matter. So that was fascinating. She also, we spoke about breast health quite significantly as well, and she was saying about obviously checking. I'll just wash my hand and then I'll show you. She was saying how obviously we are all told, and especially as ladies, we're reminded to check ourselves. She actually went into more detail on how we should do that, because I was like, oh yeah, when I'm putting on body lotion, then I'll have a quick check. But she was going into a lot more detail, and I actually said to her, please could they do a tutorial video on the Prenuvo Instagram as to how to do this properly. One thing is to look at yourself in the mirror, standing up, looking out for any lumps, bumps, shadows, dimples, but also do it with your hands behind your head. And like push your chest out and have a little look that way. And then also do it with your hands here, push your hips out and have a little look that way as well. And then she was saying, put your hand behind your head, and when you're laying down flat, use the flat of your hand in like a snail motion, going round and round like you're going out of a snail shell, and just doing that, and then the same on the other side. So doing this regularly helps you to really learn what your own boobs feel like, and learn therefore if any changes happen. And I thought that was so important. Like, we're just told check your boobs, but we're not told how. So do the and when you're standing up looking in the mirror, but then do the snail when you're laying down. And anything around the nipples, any rashes, that's what you need to keep an eye on. What else was she, I loved this. So she said to me, Josie, do you do Pilates or yoga? And I said, why, yes I do. How do you know? And she said that I have got an incredibly healthy spine. And she said that they often see very healthy spines in people that do Pilates or yoga. So she said, keep up with what you're doing there, because it's working really, really well. So I was very chuffed to hear that. And she said also for your spine, just keeping moving, especially if you've got a desk job, just getting up and moving, like trying not to be sat down, hunched over too much, which is always so much easier said than done. So yeah, overall, I feel like I learned so much about my body. There are a few things that I do need to keep an eye on and that I do need to get looked into a little bit more. But overall, I found it really reassuring, and I think that I would like to get scans like this maybe once every couple of years, just to keep an eye on things and make sure nothing crops up, because most things are so much easier to treat if you find them early. So it is kind of, I don't want to say a preventative scan, it's more of a, well, it could prevent you from getting something more serious if you catch it early. But it was just a really interesting and very eye-opening experience. As I said, it is an expensive thing, and I know that unfortunately it's just not something that's going to be on the cards for everybody, but I think especially if you are a little bit more inclined from a family or genetic point of view to get certain diseases, then it's you can't really put a price on health. And I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but I will let you know that they gave me, I think it's prenuvo.com/Josie. I don't get anything out of this. It'll get you £300 off a scan if you want it, so I'll leave that link down below. I will probably use my own code to book the next one. It's just like a free referral thing. Yeah, so that is a big chunky me oversharing TMI health update, which was one of my calls this morning. Okay, golly, I've been chatting to you for a long time. I've done almonds, I've done pecans, I've done hazelnuts, I'll do a couple of Brazil nuts. This is going to be a very nutty smoothie. I'm also going to add in some goji berries and some sunflower seeds. This is such a cocktail of different things. I found some linseed, but ideally you do want to buy ground linseed, because otherwise it's just going to go in one end and out the other. Another thing for hydration, she was saying how one of my lower spinal discs looked a bit dehydrated. So I don't know how they can see that in an MRI scan, but absolutely amazing that they can. So I just need to really focus on hydration. What's this now? Shelled hemp seed. I'm going to put the acai balls in, but I've also got this acai powder. That I have made here is actually crazy, but if you can see here, this is my blend boss, I'm going to blend together today's smoothie before I close off the jars, because then I can just tell if I need to add anything different taste-wise. So I put in a bottle of kefir, and as you may know, this is 2 days worth of smoothie, so day 2 goes in this bottle and then back in the fridge. I've got peanut butter all over my hands, and I just went to wipe my nose and I got peanut butter on my nose, and it reminded me of that scene in the 𝑭𝒐𝏻 film. If you've seen it, you might know the scene that I'm talking about. Okay, so a little bit of water. That is very full. Yikes. Okay, let's see if this will blend. That is very full. I would not recommend. Yeah, I'm above the fill line. Oopsie daisy. Is it gonna blend? So it's got all these different settings like crushed ice, pulse, smoothie, blend IQ, where it kind of realizes what's in here and blends accordingly, but the smoothie one pulses and blends, which is so clever. Right, taste test. Look at that color. I love that you can drink straight out of this, so it saves your washing up as well. Oh, that is sensational. That is so delicious. The peanut butter. Oh, I forgot to add in the acai balls. Okay, I need to do that for the other ones, but that is so good. Good job done. And how beautiful does this look? My lovely tulips that I got from Farmer Gracie and planted, I think, only in January. And then we've got some other little blooms coming out the bottom. Absolutely gorgeous. Hello again. It's actually about 3 or 4 hours, 3 hours since I last spoke to you. We've done, oh, puppy is trapped. Puppy is trapped and has FOMO. Come on. Yeah, just been doing a few work calls, but it has turned into such a nice evening, which was unexpected given the grey snowstorm that we had earlier. Just had, ooh, didn't know these scissors fell apart. So I'm hoping I might be able to set up the greenhouse for dinner, and maybe we'll have dinner in there if it's not too cold. I'm gonna go and have a little look because Mum's coming over and we're just gonna have some pasta. But I just received a delivery from 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, and I think this is a lovely little Easter gift from them. So I thought we could unbox this together. Let's see what's inside. I think Easter is nearly as wonderful as Christmas. It's almost like, you know, you get together with your family, you celebrate, you eat lovely things, and you spend quality time together, and it's obviously a religious holiday, but it's in spring and there's flowers and tulips and chocolate. So yeah, I think Easter is very close, oh my gosh, to Christmas. This is too cute. Oh my gosh, this is adorable. So we have got the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 Estate honeycomb Easter egg. I have seen this in the farm shop and just thought how fabulous this was. Look at that. This is going to be the best Easter egg of all time. And then we've got these cute little creatures. Oh my gosh. How adorable. They're these little felt characters, including, oh, it's like a farmer bunny rabbit. That's so sweet. So the idea is that you make almost like an Easter tree, and you could just grab some branches from a bush in your garden. I'll show you. I'll actually do something with these tomorrow and make them look really pretty. What a sweet idea. Oh my gosh. That is too adorable. Limited edition handmade wicker egg cup. Firstly, how cute does that look? Oh my gosh, there's an actual egg in here. Wait, is that's a real egg? The egg cup has got little feet. That is absolutely adorable. I cannot wait to do a cute little Easter tablescape. Oh, a little lady bunny. Oh my gosh. Dear Josie, please find enclosed a few of our favourites from our 2026 Easter collection, to include our new do you say praline or praline eggs in wicker egg cups, and our new Lady Bamford Foundation Easter rabbits. Oh, that'll be these. That's so cute. Inspired by the most loved members of the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 team. Okay, that is hilarious. This is definitely Jez the gardener. Oh, who could this be? I feel like this is Lady B, because Lady B wears very chic navy outfits like this, although they're holding a watering can. Don't know if Lady B does her own watering, and she's holding a bunch of flowers. That's so cute. Speckled praline eggs in the sweetest reusable Easter egg. Charlie and I love these because when my nephews come over we do an Easter egg hunt, and these are perfect for hiding goodies in the garden. And even more little characters. This is so adorable. I love it. So many little gardening Easter bunnies. This one's got a spade and a little trug filled with 𝘿𝙤𝙙 organic vegetables. What an adorable delivery. Thank you, 𝘿𝙤𝙙. That is so cute. Now I need to make it my mission to make a little Easter tree so that we can display our cute little friends. Hello again. It's a few hours later. I've been pottering in the garden and also just doing some boring laptop stuff, thinking about what to do for dinner, and I've realised that these planthood meals that I've got in the fridge need to be eaten today. So I've got 2 planthood meals which I'm going to cook. They both sound amazing, and I know that Charlie's going to be hungry because he's been out at the cottages all day, so I think we'll get through both portions. Chili crunch noodles and greens, and aubergine, whipped tahini and harissa. I cannot wait to cook those. But first, I have got an exciting unboxing. It's a beauty unboxing from 𝑭𝒏𝒅. I placed this order on 𝑭𝒏𝒅 because they've got a mega sale on at the moment for Easter. It's running between now and the 6th of April. As you guys know, I have an always on discount code, which is Josie LF, but they've also got a mega reduction on so many things right now. It's up to 40% off, plus my discount code. So if there's anything that you need beauty-wise, whether it's micellar water or shampoo, conditioner, fake tan, whatever you need, now is the time to stock up. So let me show you what I stocked up on. Okay, this was just a really good price and I grabbed it at the last minute. Spotlight Oral Care gum and cavity toothpaste. I'm hoping it is quite a small one, which is good because I actually got this in mind to add to my travel skincare. So yeah, that's a good size. That's going to go straight in my travel bag. Then I stocked up on this. Do I even need to explain how fabulous this is? I use it all the time, Redken One United hairspray. Charlie and I both love a bubble bath, and this is, in my opinion, the most relaxing scent. It's the lavender, really foamy, bubbly bubble bath from l'Occitane. I've actually not tried this before, but I loved how hydrating this sounded. It's the Gel Douche, Eau de Douche shower oil from Bioderma. Soothing, lipid, replenishing, cleansing oil, anti-irritation, 24 hours hydration for face, body and hands. It's not like a glamorous product in particular, but I think it's going to be really lovely, hydrating and nourishing for my skin. This was fully influenced by Molly Campsey. I think it was Molly. She was talking about how amazing this was and so affordable. It's the NYX Brow Glue. And I'm always looking to try things that can help keep my brows in place all day. So I'll give that a go when I next do my makeup and I'll show you. Another thing for the bath, this is expensive, but I get a saving on 𝑭𝒏𝒅. And it's just amazing if you're feeling a bit achy after a tough gym session or just from life. It is the Aching Muscles Super Soak by Elemis, also for the bath. So this is for like a mega relaxing bath. This is for a make my aching bones feel better bath. Love. And then I also wanted to try this Style on Steroids spray from Colour Wow. I haven't tried that before. So a mixture of new things and existing favourites. Just remembered I also filmed my makeup this morning, thinking that it was going to go in the last vlog, but then I realised I'd already closed off the last vlog. So while I prepare our dinner, I'm gonna whiz you guys back in time, so I'll show you how I do a lovely everyday spring makeup and hair routine using my Look Fantastic favourites. Hello my darlings, it is 8:10 in the morning and I thought we could quickly get ready together. So first of all, I have to address the robe because last night for me the video went live where I unboxed my 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 order, and I obviously said within that video that 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 is a very, very premium price point brand, and I got a couple of pieces, this and a pair of pyjamas, half price. And even in the video I was like, this is still very, very expensive. But I could not predict the amount of comments hating on the price point of these products. And it's just funny, not funny, but it's interesting to me what things really wind people up and what things really trigger people. Like, there was nothing that awful, obviously, but a lot of people were very upset by the price point of the pyjamas, which actually, to be honest, I fully understand because they are crazy. However, what I think made things a bit worse was that people that were quoting the prices, I noticed that the people that seemed to be the most upset were quoting American dollar prices, and I think that they are even double again more expensive in the US. Someone was saying, I cannot believe you just spent $800 on a pair of pajamas. They were nowhere near that much money, nowhere near. So yeah, I think that in America they're obviously a lot more, but I personally love this robe. I love it so, so much. You guys know I live my life in robes. I think I've decided I'm going to take it to a tailor because I prefer the sleeves to have only this much dark green on the bottom. It's actually this much, like I showed you in the unboxing. But yeah, I'm gonna take it to someone really good, really professional, to do it far better than I ever could and just get them to shorten the sleeves so I have a little bit less dark green. But anyway, I just wanted to mention it because I found it, as I said, very, very interesting to see people's opinions on luxury pajamas. But yeah, it's just something that's a real treat and I have no regrets. I will be wearing this for eternity. So there we go. Let's talk about the beauty things that I've already done this morning, aside from washing my hair and all that jazz. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but I am, flashing you, I am exceptionally bronzed right now because I have applied a layer of this. I would say I'm only 80% loyal to fake tans. If I try a new one and I love it, then I'll switch to that for a while. However, this is the one that I come back to the most often. It's actually the Luxe Whipped Creme Mousse, and when I first tried this, they had a partnership with Ashley Graham, and that's when I first started to love this tan. It's a really, almost like a green base olivey tan. You can see the difference between my hand and my face. It's seriously hydrating. I think, yeah, it actually has niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, echinacea, and vitamin E within the ingredients. So not only does it tan you, but it also makes you glow and it makes your skin really nice and hydrated. So I popped on my second layer of this morning. I popped a layer on yesterday morning in the gym as well. So I just feel a little bit more glowy, a little bit more healthy, and this is in the Look Fantastic Easter sale, which is incredible. I think most of the things, if not, to be honest, I think all of my beauty products can be bought from Look Fantastic, and 90% of them are in the Easter sale right now. Every time I wash my hair, I use either this, which is the Redken One United, nearly at the end, which is why I've treated myself to another one in the Easter sale, or I use the Pureology one, which I've said before, I'm pretty sure they're the exact same product but in different packaging because they're both L'Oreal brands. But the Redken One United all-in-one multi-benefit treatment with 25 benefits. If you have got hair that, to be honest, I would say 90% of hair, I don't want to say struggles, but things that you might want to make a bit easier for your hair care routine, this will most likely help you. So for me, it's detangling my hair a lot more quickly. My hair gets so tangled because it's fine. I have very, very fine hair, so it gets super tangly. It helps with breakage, it helps with porousness of your hair, so when you use it, It just makes your hair in such better conditions, nourishes, improves manageability, helps porosity, instantly hydrates, detangles, cutting lotion, primes hair for styling, reduces breakage, helps preserve colour vibrancy. I didn't even know that one. Heat protection, I didn't realise, up to 230 degrees, helps prevent split ends, helps seal the hair cuticles, strengthens hair, gives a silky touch, provides smoothness. Honestly, there are so many reasons that I love this, and I bang on about this, but I will be a repurchaser of this for the rest of my life. So when I see it goes on sale, the Easter sale is, I think it's up to 40% off, plus more with Josie LF. It's between now and April the 6th, so stock up on that if you've not tried it. I always put an oil in the ends of my hair as well. Again, I'm not that loyal either. 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅. I do love the Kerastase oils. This one smells the best. It's the Glaze Drops. I absolutely love it. And or the Kerastase Ultime, which I don't know where. Oh, I do know where it is. It's downstairs because I put the Kerastase Ultime oil in my hair in the evenings if I'm about to do heatless curls. So, I should also mention this because I think the hairbrush that you use on wet or damp hair is exceptionally important. This is from Tangle Teaser, it's from their Metallics range, and it just, especially if your hair is knotty, like really knotty, really tangly if you've got fine hair, and you want to be as gentle as possible with your hair when it's wet, so that is a really fabulous one. Okay, I'm gonna get started with my makeup, and I want to talk to you about Love Story, because tonight is, for me, the final. If you've not started watching it yet, and you intend on watching it, and you don't know the true story, I am about to give some spoilers, so there we go, you've been warned. But, by Terry Brightening CC Serum. I already did all my serums, etc. And no surprise, a Borean CC. Oh, they're both called CC, how funny. They do different things, but they're both very illuminating. So, if you don't know about the Love Story program, it is on Disney Plus, which I didn't realise that I had access to, but you actually get Disney Plus with Sky now, which is amazing, and we've got Sky, so I was able to watch it. It's the story about JFK Jr., so he's the son of the famous president JFK, son of Jackie O, or Jackie Kennedy, and it documents his meeting and falling in love with Carolyn Bessette. So it's all set in New York in the like 80s and 90s, and it documents their entire love story. Now, tonight is going to be the final, and I don't know if I'm ready, because again, this is a spoiler for the final episode, but it is obviously following the real life story. Some scenes are fictionalized, but it is going to be following the real story of JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. So I know what's going to happen in tonight's episode, and I'm mentally just already sad about it. And to be honest, until last week, I actually did not know how the story ended. I purposely didn't Google it, and I was 8 years old when this tragedy happened, so I actually didn't know about it. It wasn't obviously as big news here in the UK as it was in the US, and it was not that long after Princess Diana's death, so I think the UK, like, it wasn't as an 8-year-old, it wasn't something that I knew about, so I didn't know the tragic ending of the story. Obviously the series opens with a scene where JFK Jr., John and Carolyn are meeting on an airstrip, and you see that he's got a little bit of a hobble, and it's just very glamorous, and they're about to go for a lovely romantic weekend in Massachusetts. I think they're going to Martha's Vineyard. And then it goes back to like 8 years before, and that's when the story begins. So I was initially a little bit confused as to why the whole series started on that scene. And then when last week Charlie and I watched the penultimate episode, I turned to Charlie and I said, "Is Carolyn still alive right now?" And he turned to look at me and he was like, what did he say? He was like, "Wait till the next episode." And instantly, I just knew why the series had started on that scene. And there'd been a lot of, is it called pathetic fallacy? in films and books when there's almost like a hint as to what's to come, because in this most recent episode they've been mentioning his flying lessons, how he needs to get more hours in, they've been mentioning obviously his broken leg, and then suddenly I just realised, oh my gosh, they're gonna die in a plane crash. And I said to Charlie, I was like, oh my god, I can predict what's gonna happen, and he didn't confirm my suspicion, and even like I've still not googled it, but I'm 90% sure that's what's going to happen. And it's just such a like such a tragedy, because it documents, it's a very raw, it's not a documentary, it's a dramatization, but it's very raw, showing their love story and the ups and the downs, and it's very glamorous to begin with, because you know, they call him America's son if Jackie Onassis is America's widow. It obviously talks about how he dealt with the death of his mother. It talks about how the couple, how Carolyn and John really struggle with the onslaught and the relentlessness of paparazzi. And I think when you're that level of famous, sometimes people find it hard to sympathise the paparazzi, because it's just so unimaginable what an impact that has on your life. But I think they did a really good job of showing how it impacted Carolyn in particular, because she went from being a very private person with, yeah, a very glamorous life. She was, I think, head of PR at Calvin Klein, attended glamorous parties, but you know, she could just sneak in and out of these events and no one gave a hoot who she was until she started dating and getting engaged to John. But the way that the impact of the paparazzi has on her mental health, and how eventually she doesn't want to leave their apartment in New York, it's just very well done how they show it, so that you really do have sympathy for them. And then it just seems as though they're starting to work through all of that when this tragic accident happens. And I think I'm a very sensitive soul. I'm very affected by the content that I consume. So for example, I've mentioned before, I see a very clear correlation between my personal mental health and the time that I spend on TikTok. It's not good for my mental health at all. It really, and also the time of the month obviously impacts it. So like last week I spent a lot of time on TikTok. I don't know why, but it was also is it called luteal week? So not good for my mental health. So I think I've been very affected by watching Love Story. I've enjoyed it, but now it's just I'm kind of nervous to watch tonight's episode because I know what's happening. So let me know, have you guys watched it? What did you think? I actually have heard on TikTok that it's had some pretty bad reviews, but people just need to not take things so seriously. You know, not everything has to be Oscar worthy. If people get enjoyment out of it, then let it be, as the Beatles would say. Okay, I'm just going to use my Anastasia Brow Freeze. I've been going quite overboard with blusher lately, but I feel like spring is the season for going overboard with your blusher. Okay, just finishing with a little bit of powder on my T-zone, and then I'm gonna go and brush my teeth, sort my hair out, and then do my lipstick. It was also in the last vlog that I was talking about the order that I do things in, and I loved hearing the order that you guys do things in as well. I think most people did the same as me, but a lot of people made the good point about getting dressed before makeup, because you don't want to get makeup on your clothes, which is very, very clever. I think I'm just lazy and I like being in a robe for as long as possible. But anyway, I'm going to quickly dry my hair, and then I'm going to take the boys out for a little walk. I like to get outside for my hair to do the final drying, if that makes sense. So that's the plan. Okay, 10 minutes later and my hair is dry. This is how my hair dries naturally when I just use a hairbrush and a hairdryer, just kind of like drying as I brush it. So completely poker straight, and I don't mind having straight hair, but I always prefer a little bit of shape, a little bit of movement. This is also in the Look Fantastic Easter sale. How amazing is that? It's the Beauty Works Molly May, what would you call it, bristly barrely, that's what I'm going to call it. I set it to 200 degrees, which is naughty because I think your hair can tolerate up to 180 without damage, but my Redken spray said it protects up to 230, so there we go. I always just separate off the top half, boop, give myself a jazzy hairstyle, and then curl in 1 inch, well, that's probably 3 inches, segments. And this just smooths and adds that beautiful little flick at the end. You could do it a lot more slowly and a lot more precisely and get properly curly hair, like beautiful waves, but I just want that little bit of movement down at the bottom. So I'm smoothing it, and then I just hold it for a few seconds on the bottom bit, and then I keep twisting it as I unravel, because I think that if the hair can cool when it's overly twisted like that, in my head it just makes the curl last a bit longer, and I don't know if I've made that up, but it's just a little habit that I've got into. So I'm gonna pop on a YouTube video. This will take me probably 10 minutes, and then I'll show you the finished look. Okay, another 10 minutes later, and we've got some really lovely soft curls down at the bottom. These will drop big time, but it's just going to give me that really nice movement for the day, so I just like to kind of run my fingers through them very lightly just to separate them out a little bit. Oh, here it is. And then pop on some hairspray. This is the Flex hairspray from Living Proof, and what I always do while flashing you is spray from underneath so that it doesn't cause them to drop. Just a really fine misting, and then I'll use a wide tooth comb a little bit later. Lips, I'm going to use 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 pigment pencil in Toasted Rose. This has really become my everyday lip liner. It's just a little bit darker than my natural lip colour, so it's perfect for creating that darker outline. MAC Kinda Sexy, probably my most worn lipstick. Need to get another one. Need to check if this is in the Easter sale actually, because I'm going to grab another one of these. And then because I like my lips to be a bit balmy, this is the Bare Minerals, I think it's called a Glow Balm in the shade Hope. And I always feel like adding a balm at the end just kind of merges all of the lip products together, makes it nice and balmy and comfortable, and adds a little bit of gloss as well. So that's everyday spring hair and makeup. I'll comb these through shortly. So there we go, we are ready for the day. And we're back and dinner is made. This smells absolutely delicious. We've got a chili miso aubergine with tahini on a flatbread, and then a miso kind of sesame, yummy smelling, nutty smelling noodles, udon noodles. We've got edamame, radish, snap peas, and Charlie is having the same with a steak on the side as well. So time to dig in.